Good afternoon, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took two trades this morning right at the market open. The first one stopped me out. The second one went to 2R, so I'm coming away with a 50% win rate. When you trade all or nothing 2R, that is a profitable day. That means that my first trade lost -1 times my risk, and the second trade gained 2 times my risk, so I'm coming away in the profit 1 times my risk. Of course, right now we're just trading with one single share until we collect data on 100 different trades. So let's take a look at the screener, and I'll show you how I pick my stocks every morning. So I go to my screeners, I use my mid-cap stock screener, and the only thing that I've changed recently is the price range of stocks that I'm looking at. I'm only interested now in the stocks from $5 to $50. I used to look for stocks from $5 to $100, but after 70-something trades now, I've only taken 6 trades with stocks that were above $50, and 5 out of 6 ended up losing. And so based on the fact that I hardly ever trade those and the fact that almost all the time they're losing, I just removed those stocks from the possibility of being traded. So we're just looking at $5 to $50 now. I organized the list by volume, and then at the open I'm looking for stocks that are just on the first page. I have this open up on my laptop the entire time I'm trading. You're looking at the desktop right now. And I'm looking for, of course, stocks that are green. Today there is a lot of them. And this morning there was MARA. So AMC was up there, and obviously I noticed TRIL. That one was basically going sideways. So even though it looks really enticing with like 190% percent change, there was really no setup there. I can show you that in the video why I rejected that one right away. And AMC, that one went on the list. American Airlines, I think, was below the 200 MA on the daily, so that one did not go on the list. MARA did, and Riot also went on the list, and it came down to me deciding between taking a trade on Riot and Mara. So let's take a look at the video, and you'll see what I'm looking at on my charts. So here we are right at the open. So there you can see I put AMC up because it was on the screener. Mara goes up and Riot. And then let's look at the daily charts now. So there's a whole bunch of lines like support and resistance lines from just, you know, analysis back in the day that I just have not deleted off of this chart. But you can see behind those, you can see the 200 MA line. It's kind of going up here, this red curve line. So obviously the price is above the 200 MA, so it meets that criteria. Same thing with Mara. Here's the 200 MA line. And same thing with Riot, 200 MA line is right there, and the price is trading above. So all 3 of these meet my criteria at this point to look for trades, not to take a trade. And now, excuse me, the next step is to mark out the high of the previous session, whether it be the pre-market, after-market, or previous day. So that's what I was doing here on AMC. So eventually I get that line in place, 35.77, and then I do the same thing on Riot and Mara. So there's their previous highs marked out. So now the next step is I need to wait and see if the price breaks out over that level. And then once it does, then I can look for a pullback. So this morning, it was kind of tricky because my plan says that I have to pick one stock to focus on once my entry gets triggered, or once my trigger to look for an entry gets triggered, if that makes sense. So for example, AMC is not coming anywhere near that previous high, so I don't really need to worry about that one. Mara is coming up right next to that, right below that previous high. Same thing with Riot. So as of right now, I don't really know which one of these I want to trade more because they both look about the same on the daily chart. They're both kind of doing the exact same thing at the open. And originally I had decided, you know what, Riot looks a little bit stronger, I'm going to focus on that one. But then ultimately I focused on MARA because I looked at the screener once I decided. So you can see here that at this point, almost at the same time, they both triggered me to look for an entry because they're breaking out through their previous high. Riot looked a little more favorable because it made a really strong breakout over that previous high, whereas Mara just kind of barely broke above it. But ultimately, I stuck with Mara because on the screener, oh, and then here's TRIL, which again looked amazing. If you looked at the percent change, 190%, that doesn't mean anything. Whenever I see a non-smooth transition like this from, now this is extended hours, right? This is showing the extended hours. If you see a gap up, like say from the previous day to today, that could be okay as long as when you look at the extended hours, you see price action kind of trending upward. Here we didn't get that. We got this one crazy candle that went straight up and then everything went sideways. So the chances of getting a 2R trade during the day on something like this are basically next to nothing. So when I see something like that, I just dismiss it entirely. So do not be enticed by the fact that it had this crazy, percent change. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. And so let's just fast forward here. So you can see that originally when I reduced my chart page to 4 charts, I was looking at Riot. So that was the one I was looking at taking an entry on. And then at some point during this time, I looked over at my screener and I realized that MARA had much higher relative volume. Maybe it still does here on the screener. So here's MARA. If you look at the volume today, 7.3 million. The average volume is around 10 million. And here we are, not even at 1030. So that's extremely high volume relative to its average volume. And then Riot was not quite as high. So, and it's still the case as of right now, 3.8 million, and its average volume is 11.36. So the relative volume was much stronger on Mara this morning as compared to Riot. So that's ultimately why I switched, and I had not taken a trade yet, so I can do that. And once I take a trade, I just have to stick with it and use all 3 trades if I need to on that one ticker symbol. But you'll see here in a moment I switched there to Mara, and it looks like I'm just about to get triggered, so it was a good time as far as, when I decide to switch. And the high of this candle is 37.92, so I need to see 37.93 or better. And there it goes right there. And let's see. Yeah, it looks like I hesitated a little bit there. I'm not sure why, but I got in a couple seconds late, but got nearly the ideal entry. I wanted 37.93. I got 37.92. And then, of course, I moved my stop loss up. I got to be really quick with that, quicker than I was this morning even, because if you watched my video from, I believe it was Friday, maybe Thursday or Friday, I got stopped out very quickly on an entry, which rarely happens with these mid-cap stocks, but that showed me, it can still happen. So I really need to be quick about that stop loss. That's always the first thing I do anyway, but I just need to focus on doing it as quickly as possible because I don't want to get flushed out and take a bigger loss than I need to. So then I use my 2R calculator. It tells me where my 2R profit target is, and then the trade is basically all set. I just let it play out. I don't have to do anything. And if I want to, I can go get coffee, and I have my phone with me, so if it gets stopped out, I know. And let's see what happens here. This is trade number 1. So there we go. It kind of gaps down on that next candle, and then it just stops me out. That's okay. I expect my first trade to fail. I know that that one fails more often than all of my other trades, so not a surprise, not a shock or anything. I was just looking at where's the bottom of the ABCD pattern. It's way down there, so I don't have to worry about that being broken. I just need to focus on getting in on the next entry. So now my next entry will be as soon as a 1-minute candle makes a new high. And the fact that I got stopped out and then you're seeing all of this buying energy come in is pretty strong, pretty bullish. That means that there's a lot of buyers. They're not willing to let the price go down very far. So even if this candle broke above this red candle, I'd have to get right back in. That's what my plan says to do. So that's why I'm hovering over this candle. I see the high is 38.05. So if I see 38.06 or higher, I have to get in. Here's 38.04. It's getting very close. So let's keep an eye on this bubble. I have my hands on the hotkeys ready to buy. I'm just looking for 38.06 or better. Here's 38.04. It's getting very close. There it goes, 38.06, and you see I trigger my hotkeys instantly, so no hesitation that time. And then my stop loss, I need to move it up. I need to get faster with this. Especially watching this video back, it looks like I'm taking way too long to do that. So, because even though I think what I was doing there is I was hovering over this candle to get the precise low and then move the stop loss in place, and that's not really what I need to do. And I don't know why I'm starting to do that all of a sudden. It's not something I used to do. I used to just use the candle itself, get the stop loss roughly in place, because as long as I get it below the bottom of that candle, I'm good. And then afterwards I can look and see what the exact low of that candle is and then raise that stop up. So I need to keep that in mind, because that is an important part of the process. So now we're in the trade and we've got our stop loss in place. We use the 2-hour calculator. We got our profit target, and we're set. We don't have to do anything. And at this point, I think I walked away after a while. And again, I just take my phone with me. If I hear an alert, then I check it. And if I got stopped out, I come back and get ready for the next entry. And there we go. Let me just show you that execution in real time. So it's 38.58. So went straight up to our profit target, continued for a little bit. I don't really care about that. As long as I get my 2-hour profit target, I'm all set. And then I think I did a couple other things, like adjust my stop loss on my swing trade, and that's about it. Then I shut it down because there's nothing else for me to do, and that's it. So it was a 50% win rate day. I don't have my spreadsheet open here. We'll go over that some other time, but basically I'm now 72 trades into the 100 test trades, and our win rate is right around 40%, which is good because our break even is 33%. And after only 10 trades, if you have a 40% win rate, you'll be up 2R. But after 100 trades, you'll be up 20R. After 1,000 trades, you can be up 200R. So 40% win rate is good when you're trading all or nothing 2R, and that's pretty much what we're shooting for at this point. So let me know if you have any questions about this trade. As always, go into every single trade with a plan. Stick to that plan no matter what. Always take your stop losses, honor your profit target. But wait, I've got one more mantra that I've been thinking about lately that I think is going to be very helpful, is that when you start trading, when you're getting ready to trade, you're waiting for the market open, especially if you're a newer trader, you're probably excited to take a trade, and that is going to hurt you in the long run. I remember feeling like that when I was a new trader. The sooner that you get over that and you start convincing yourself not to be excited about taking a trade, but to be excited about following your plan, be excited about sticking to your plan, then you're going to have a lot better results. And even if you're not profitable at the beginning, your results are going to have meaning, because you're going to be able to say, look, I stuck to my plan and I'm not making money, I'm not profitable, so I know I need to work on the plan, I need to adjust the plan. If you're not sticking to your plan, you're doing random things, then any data you're collecting is meaningless. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So just want to remind you, do not be excited about taking a trade. Be excited about following and sticking to your plan. And in the long run, you should be green. Take care.